Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into something pretty incredible. How AI is kicking off this quiet revolution right in our farm fields. And this isn't just a small change. It's completely rewriting the rulebook on how we're going to feed everyone in the future. So why does any of this matter? Well, it all kicks off with this number right here. By the year 2084, experts think our global population is going to top out at around 10.3 billion people. I mean, think about that. That's more than 2 billion extra mouths to feed compared to right now.
And that leads to this massive question, maybe the biggest challenge agriculture has ever faced. How in the world do we grow over 50% more food on the exact same amount of land we have today? Because let's be real, the alternative of just clearing more forests, that's just not on the table.
So this incredible pressure is actually a good thing in a way. It's kicking off a whole new age of innovation, what people are calling the fourth agricultural revolution, and it's all being powered by data and AI. But what's really fascinating, and what we're going to get into today, is that it's unfolding in two totally different but honestly equally brilliant ways around the world. All right, so let's start in Europe. Here, the whole revolution can be summed up in one word: precision. It's all about using some seriously high-tech hardware and automation to squeeze every last drop of potential out of every single resource.
So picture this. On these huge commercial farms, you've got self-driving tractors cruising around using this hyper-precise GPS. We're talking about planting seeds with 1-inch accuracy. That means absolutely no wasted space, no wasted fuel. It's just peak efficiency. And it gets even smarter than that, believe it or not. You have these machines like the See and Spray, which use some seriously powerful computer vision. I mean, as they roll through the fields, they're processing images faster than you can blink, telling the difference between a crop and a weed. And then, zap, they hit only the weed with a tiny, targeted spray of herbicide. The result? They're cutting down on chemical use by over 90%. That's huge.
And if you think that's cool, get this. Some systems are ditching chemicals altogether. We're talking about robots roaming the fields with high-powered lasers, literally zapping weeds right at the root. It's like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it's happening right now, and it does all this without messing up the soil or the crop that's sitting right next to it.
Okay, so this whole approach, this idea of treating every single plant like an individual patient, has a name. It's called precision agriculture. The whole point is to use AI to give each plant exactly what it needs. Not too much, not too little. It's basically bringing surgical-level precision to the farm. All right, now let's completely switch gears. We're going to travel to a totally different part of the world, where the AI farming revolution looks nothing like what we just saw in Europe. Across Africa and parts of Asia, the keyword isn't automation, it's accessibility.
So over here, you're not seeing giant, expensive robots. Instead, startups are doing something brilliant. They're putting all the power of AI right into the hands of millions of small-scale farmers using the one piece of tech many of them already own: a basic smartphone.
And the idea is so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. You have apps like Plant Village that basically turn a phone's camera into an expert on crop diseases. So a farmer sees a plant that's struggling, they just snap a photo. The AI analyzes it right there on the spot, figures out what's wrong, and sends back advice. And get this, it can even work over a simple text message, which is an absolute game changer in places where internet is spotty.
And this quote from a tomato farmer in Cameroon, man, it just says it all. You can really feel the real-world impact here. He talks about how he used to just spray a mix of everything, hoping something would work, wasting so much money. Now, with this app, he's saving money, and that means he can afford to farm more land. That's a direct boost to his family's income.
And the results are just, wow. They're staggering. We're seeing farmers across Africa and India who use these tools reporting that they're saving up to 50% on water, and they're getting 20 to 30% more crops. I mean, this isn't just a tiny little improvement. It is a massive game changer for local food security.
Okay, so let's pause for a second. We've got two super powerful AI-driven solutions tackling the exact same global problem, but they look completely different from each other. So what gives? Why the two separate paths?
Well, it really just boils down to what they're trying to solve. Europe's model, that's all about automation and meeting really strict environmental rules. But the model in Africa, that's laser-focused on something else: inclusion and accessibility. It's about bridging the gap when you don't have easy access to bank loans or agricultural experts.
And this chart really lays out how this creates two totally different worlds. In Africa, you're building tech for millions of individual farmers, and the business model even ties into things like small loans. Meanwhile, in Europe, the customer is a massive commercial farm, and you're selling them expensive robots and software as a service.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Even though they seem like polar opposites, these two paths aren't going to stay separate forever. In fact, we're already starting to see them come together in some really cool ways.
You see, the future here isn't about one model winning out over the other. No way. The real breakthrough, the real magic, is going to happen when we start combining the strengths of both. Europe's amazing precision hardware with Africa's super accessible, smart software.
I mean, just think about the possibilities. What if farming co-ops in Africa could rent those sophisticated European robots just for the harvest season, making that high-tech gear suddenly affordable? Or flip it around. What if those super robust AI models from Africa, the ones built to work with bad internet, could be used to make European tech tougher and more able to handle the crazy, unpredictable weather we're all starting to see?
And that really brings us to the big takeaway here. When we ask what the best farming future looks like, is it high-tech or is it low-cost? The answer is, well, it's not a choice we have to make. To actually build a food system that can feed 10 billion people, we need both. The future of farming isn't high-tech or low-cost. It absolutely has to be both.